Alright, so what I'm going to try now is I'm going to carve on this a little bit, try and make some curls like if you were going to start a fire. Start up with the Ontario RTAK II. I'm not very good at feather sticking, but this thing does seem to be making good curls. Pissing off the ants. Even where I was chopping and batoning with it, carves on this wood pretty good. A lot of them fell off, but you can see that makes pretty decent curl. Alright, RTAK II again. A little bit of a splinter there. So yeah, that's pretty good. BK9, crowd favorite. I know it's my favorite. Very nice curls here, as you can see, hopefully. And I was doing that with the same area I was batoning with earlier, right through the log, and seems to go right through there. You know, KaBar BK9. And right on that same spot I was batoning too, so this thing will hold a decent edge. Nice wide, fat, thin curls. KaBar USMC. This one I expect would probably be pretty good. Like I said, I'm not real good at this. I haven't had a whole lot of practice, but as you can see, it does pretty good. Someone who's better at this than I am could really make up some nice shavings. Let's try out the Condor Hudson Bay knife. Like I said before, this doesn't have a very good grind on it. Pretty thick edge. So this probably is not going to do great, but let's just see. Not great, but you can make some curls with it. Hopefully I'm getting that in the shot. Not great, but you could do it. Like I said, that one's Condor Hudson Bay knife. It's a little bit more difficult because of the thick blade on it. KaBar heavy warthog. This does a pretty good job. Definitely serviceable. KaBar Grass Machete. It's a little bit harder to get these curls going on these areas where I've already done it because there's not a nice sharp edge to bite into. It's a little bit more difficult, but it does make decent shavings once you get the hang of it. As you can see, nice thin shaving. Kukri Machete from Ontario. It seems to do very well, actually. This is the factory edge. I haven't sharpened this one. This one definitely does, for a big knife like that, it does some really nice curls. For any knife, really. Finally, this is the cold steel Kukri Machete. This one does pretty good too. Great, but pretty good considering. Also, the edge on this one, or the way they grind it, it's just not that great. Cold steel puts a funky grind on these things that's not symmetrical. I don't know if that's showing up, but this side, the underside of it, is a little bit flatter, and this side's a little bit, this side's a little bit steeper. So I guess the idea is for right-handed choppers swinging a certain way, it works better than you know, a standard grind. But I don't really like it. The grind anyway. I mean, for 20, I think I paid 18 or 20 bucks for this thing, and for that price, I'm definitely happy with it. You know. And I have cleaned up the edge on this one a little bit, but I haven't reprofiled it or anything. But yeah, it seems to do, I mean, for what you pay for one of these things, yeah, it seems to work pretty good. So, my personal pick for all around, all tasks, is the KaBar BK9. It's got really nice balance. Let me zoom out here. It's got really nice balance. Blade heavy, but it's not real heavy overall, so you can get in here, really do some finer work with it. You know, do some nice whittling. And then that long blade, you can get in there and rough something out real fast. And then get in there and carve it up nice and fine if you want to. But yeah, this is my favorite knife ever. Right here, BK9. Gets it done. And just laughs it off. And still wicked sharp. After all that. All these knives have really good edge retention, really. But that really gets it done. The other nice thing is this thing works as a decent machete, too. It's got a nice long blade with a neutral balance. And it works as a pretty decent short machete if you don't need like a big old 18-inch or something. This will do the job. So this works pretty good for that. Grass machete. These are $45 to $55, and they work pretty good. It's pretty thick for a machete, you know, but I mean, the name's a little misleading because this thing will do a lot more than grass. Obviously, as I showed. But yeah, this thing, a lot of weight for chopping, but you could still get in here, and I mean, it's definitely not as easy as the other smaller knives, but if you think of this as just a large knife as opposed to a machete, then yeah, that's pretty much what you're getting. You're getting a big, long outdoor knife, really, that will definitely handle a lot of abuse. And also, you may have heard a lot of this handle style that KaBar uses on a lot of their knives. You may have heard about it coming loose and working loose. I haven't wailed on it a whole lot, but mine's rock solid. They supposedly had fixed that problem not long after they came out. You know, the initial reports were saying the handles were coming loose, so they fixed that problem. They don't seem to be working loose anymore. And this one's nice and sturdy. My Warthog's nice and sturdy. So, buy with confidence. This one I really like, the KaBar Heavy Warthog. I like this. It doesn't chop as well, obviously, as the bigger knives, but it's something that you can wear on your belt. It's not super cumbersome. You can have it on you, and you can still do some work chopping with it. You know, real easy. And obviously the short blade, nice and controllable. Come in here, work some shavings off. Decent edge retention. Again, it's about $50 roughly. You know, so that's a pretty good knife. I'm real fond of this. Very happy with this purchase. And of course, this guy is a little disappointed in the chopping, honestly. I thought it would do a little better for chopping than what it did, but I was really surprised at how well it could do curls and whatnot. So, but then again, this is the first time I've used this knife. I haven't tried. This is my inaugural run. It was a virgin when I brought it out here, and now not so much. But definitely a sturdy knife. I'm definitely gonna have to play with it some more. Maybe even this is the factory edge, so I might have to run it through the work sharp or something. See if that helps. The only one of these knives that I wouldn't buy over is this Condor Hudson Bay knife. Solidly built, I'll give it that. It gets the job done. It will chop. It will make curls if you need it to. Handle's a little bit small, but not too small. The big thing is, I don't know what the deal is, but the the brass pins here, and it only seems to be on one side. They seem to be a little bit proud here. Maybe the handle scale shrunk when they were shipping it, because I would imagine El Salvador's has a lot more humidity than southern Colorado. It's very arid down here, so maybe they shrunk up a little bit, but they're not fitted super well to the handle. So maybe if you really like customizing your knives, this might be a good option where you can knock the scales off, put on your own scales, maybe thin out the grind a little bit, and really make this thing your own. But it's nearly a 1/4 inch thick, and this, you see this grind line here? It's you know, barely there. I don't even know why they bothered, honestly. It's so shallow that what you're getting is basically just it's kind of like a convex Scandi grind, and Condor does that on a lot of their knives. The thinner blades, I mean, it's not as big a deal, but this one has a really thick edge, almost, you know, and it just doesn't bite in very well. So I probably wouldn't bother buying this one again, but at the same time, it's not a terrible knife. It's not a bad knife. It will do what you need it to do, just not as well. But also at the same time, it's $35.